It's hard to define the exact moment when the ground beneath my life began to shift. For 37 years, my husband Oliver had been the anchor of my existence. To everyone who looked at us from the outside, we were the picture of stability and devotion. Oliver, at 57, still carried a presence that commanded attention without effort. Tall, distinguished, and magnetic, his charisma seemed almost ageless. He had that blend of charm and authority that made people gravitate toward him. And I, Margaret, at 53, often wondered how I had been lucky enough to share my life with such a man. I did my part to keep myself vibrant. Yoga, long walks, and an insistence on honoring the natural beauty I still carried helped me stay confident in my skin. My eyes were warm brown, my hair matched, and though time had etched lines here and there, I carried them with pride. Still, when standing beside Oliver, I sometimes felt smaller, like a shadow just one step behind him. My own life was modest in comparison. A little retail shop I ran with care, a love for books and puzzles, and the simple joy of evenings spent with our grown children, Robert and Mary, who lived nearby. Our life, on the surface, was idyllic. Yet in the most private corners of our marriage, there lingered an unspoken truth. While our intimacy was steady and affectionate, I had never reached that fabled peak of fulfillment. It seemed to bother Oliver far more than me. He tried, always attentive, always eager, and I reassured him endlessly. His love was more than enough, I insisted. But perhaps a quiet void existed there, one neither of us dared to name. Everything shifted one New Year's Eve. My company's party was always a highlight for me, a chance to dress up, laugh, and dance. Oliver, naturally, fit in as though he'd belonged to that world his entire life, charming my colleagues with his effortless ease. I left him at the bar for a while to dance with coworkers, nothing unusual, until Harry joined us. Harry, the new supply manager, was younger, athletic, and brimming with confidence. We'd had friendly exchanges before, nothing more. But that night, there was an extra spark in the way he smiled at me, the way he paid attention. It was flattering, intoxicating in a way I hadn't felt in years. When I finally returned to Oliver, he was watching me closely. "Enjoying yourself?" I asked. "Very much," he said, his voice calm and measured. "And you?" "With him." I followed his gaze and felt a rush of guilt as my eyes landed on Harry. "Oh, that's just Harry," I said too quickly. "We were only dancing." Oliver's eyes met mine with unnerving steadiness. "It wasn't just dancing. I saw how you looked at him." The words struck me. He was right, I had enjoyed it. To my surprise, Oliver didn't explode. He didn't accuse or storm off. Instead, he accepted my quiet admission. That night, when we returned home, something ignited between us that had long been dormant. We made love with a passion that startled me, as if his suspicion and my honesty had unlocked something hidden. The following morning, Oliver asked softly, "Was it Harry who stirred you last night?" I hesitated, then answered truthfully, "Maybe a little. But mostly it was you. Always you." That raw honesty opened a door neither of us had ever dared to touch. We began speaking freely about our desires, our fantasies. I confessed things I had never dared to put into words before, and Oliver listened, not with judgment, but with curiosity. We experimented, lingerie, flirtation, even films that mirrored our conversations. It was as if a new spark had been lit inside us. Yet at work, Harry's presence grew harder to ignore. He was bolder now, coffee invitations, compliments that lingered. I declined, but the temptation lingered at the edges of my thoughts. Finally, one evening, I confessed everything to Oliver. "I love you more than anything," I began. "You're the best husband I could dream of. But I've been thinking about the things we've talked about exploring before it's too late." Harry asked me to spend a weekend with him. I said no, but part of me wonders if doing something like this might bring us even closer. Oliver's face went pale, disbelief written in every line. "Margaret, that's a fantasy. Nothing more." "Maybe. But maybe it could be more," I whispered. "Harry isn't a threat to us. I'd never risk what we have. But he's offered, and I can't pretend I haven't thought about it. I want to be honest with you." His silence was devastating. When he finally spoke, his voice cracked. "Have you already done something with him?" "No," I said quickly. "Nothing. Not once. It's only been thoughts. Neither of us slept that night. By morning, Oliver was calm but distant, a shadow of himself. Still, I believed honesty might ultimately strengthen us. I didn't want to sneak around. I wanted him to know everything. So when the time came, I packed a bag, delicate lingerie, elegant dresses, high heels. I kissed Oliver goodbye with a forced smile. I'll be back Sunday. I'll call you. I want you to feel part of this. His eyes said more than words ever could, heavy with pain and unease. Harry greeted me with open admiration. His gaze devoured me in my chosen outfit, and I felt a surge of daring power. You're stunning, he said, desire thick in his voice. Over wine he asked casually, how did Oliver take it? Not well, I admitted, but not as badly as I feared. He knows. I was honest. Harry raised a brow. Most men wouldn't agree to this. Neither did he, I confessed softly. After dinner, as anticipation grew heavy in the air, I texted Oliver. Heading upstairs now. Hope this excites you. I love you. But his silence gnawed at me. When I excused myself to change, I glanced at my phone again. One short, chilling message blinked back at me. Forget us. Panic ripped through me. I called him again and again, voicemail. When he finally answered with a text, it was worse than silence. Margaret had her fun. Thanks for the heads up. Gives me time to prepare. Your body, your choice. And then the final twist. Did you even know he's married? With 3 kids? My world collapsed. Harry tried to explain himself, but his words blurred. I rushed home, only to find a for sale sign in the yard. Divorce papers waiting on the kitchen table, his belongings gone. He hadn't just left, he had erased me from his life. The aftermath was brutal. He sent my messages to Harry's wife, to our children, to my relatives. My shame was laid bare. Harry's own marriage crumbled, and he blamed me viciously. But the deepest wound came from Robert and Mary. Their voices were cold, unyielding. Don't expect Dad to ever come back. Weeks of silence stretched on, until an envelope arrived. Inside was Oliver's wedding ring. My knees buckled at the sight of it. My desperate message, this can't be the end. I love you. Was met days later with a photo of a sunlit beach and a woman in a green bikini. I'm living my dream now, his message read. Emily has been so kind. Every day feels perfect. Thank you for returning the ring. Respect for that. Hope you're doing well. But there's no reconciliation. Goodbye. And just like that, it was finished. My marriage, my family, the life I had built with such devotion, all shattered. And I was left standing in the ruins, clutching nothing but regret.